Hey everybody. So it's been a minute. I don't know if I was sick last week or if it was just really bad allergies, but I was not in a place to be recording. And I also was feeling a little bit reluctant to record because I didn't have anything positive to report. It's something that I've already mentioned, but I started this channel as a way to, highlight some of the challenges that we face when we are plus size, but I also wanted to be positive, and I have been finding it so much more difficult than I expected to be positive. I didn't think it was going to be this bad, which is it's startling that I was so optimistic considering that I live in this body, and you'd think that I would know by now. But I don't think that I was looking for something very specific in the past, and so I didn't realize, if I was, how much more of a challenge that was going to be. So there were two things that I wanted to talk about today. One of them is Splendies, which is a subscription underwear company that just added plus sizes to their range. And by plus sizes, I mean that they go up to 3X, which is not nearly really plus size, but we'll talk about this. The second thing is I want to talk about some solutions to Chub Rub, which I know that you guys have been waiting for, and I was able to find some of the stuff that I had been trying to figure out where I put it. So I'm going to talk about Splendies first because I'm going to be brief. Get it? This company is saying that they go up to 3X. In my opinion, that is not exactly true. The 2X, I wear 2X in bottoms with pretty much everything, and that has never ever been a problem for me. I ordered 2X from Splendies with no doubt that it would be fine, and they barely fit. And by barely, I mean I'm not wearing them because that's not going to be comfortable all day. So I'm a size 20, and a 2X and a 20, like, this is that weird line with sizing that I'm not sure men deal with. And men, you guys just basically go by like waist size and length, right? So it's a very different thing. With women, we have this strange spot right between extra large and XXL where a second thing begins to happen. So if you have straight sizes, small, medium, extra large, and then XXL, which one would think is 2X. Apparently not. I've been looking into this a little bit more, and I think that's where the problem is that Splendies is advertising these as 2X, and I think really they're XXL. Pardon me, that's my speaker turning off. So it's a different thing. They say 2X on the tag, but I think that it's a different. So when you do plus sizes, and then that's when you have 1X, 2X, 3X, 4X, 5X. And I have noticed, like, if I buy, like, let's say leggings at some place like Target or Walmart, the XXL leggings and the 2X leggings do not fit the same way. XXL is smaller. And I can still wear them, but it's pretty tight. And I think that's kind of what's going on with Splendies. So as a size 20, I would have to buy the 3X. And in my opinion, if you can only fit up to a size 20, I'm not sure how much of a plus size you can really brag about having. But they have been talking about how they're being more inclusive. It's better than nothing, but it's pretty frustrating to me that it's like, I ordered these and thought it would be great, and I've had to go in. I'm changing my subscription. I changed it to a 3X, so we'll see next month how they fit. But it's a shame because, I still paid for these, and they have a no return policy, obviously, because it's underwear. So I'm going to show you them, though, because as much as I'm, like, frustrated with the sizing problem, these are really nice, and I was really pleasantly surprised at the quality of them. So I got the mixed because you can get a subscription that's all briefs, no thongs at all, or you can get a mixed one. Sometimes you get all thongs even on the mixed one, or all briefs even on the mixed one. But what you're allowing for is that it will be different than, the last time, more than likely. So the pair that actually fit me, because there were two that really barely fit, and there was one that was okay. And let's see if there's a brand listed here so that I can say. Yeah, there's no. But these little beauties, which I think are really cute. Lace, full back, sateen, and they're very, very comfy. They're just really silky and they feel really nice on. This pair, which is a thong, teeny tiny. I love this color though. I love it. And I'm really bummed these don't fit. Also, I hate that the tag is here, but I would cut that off. Let's see. This one says real lingerie for every body. But it does have this really cute little keyhole here at the top of the thong. I'm trying to get this on camera. See that? Which I really like. So it's basically the top of your butt crack would fall right here and be all silhouetted and sexy. Because apparently that's sexy because it's butt cleavage. Humanity is strange. So then here's the last pair. And these are also a thong, but they're a wider, cheeky. Because the top comes down a little bit further. So it's a kind of a shallower thong. It doesn't go all the way up the butt. It kind of just dips into the butt a little bit. And again, I'm going to slide this apart a bit so that you can see each bit separately. You see what I'm saying? But this has a really cute pattern on the front, the lace and everything. These in particular, you guys know me with royal colors, and this is a purple indigo blue. I really love this, and it's a shame they don't fit. But I am trying to lose weight, so I'm holding on to them in the hopes that they do fit. So yeah, my official review of Splendies is be really careful of the sizing because it's not entirely accurate in my opinion. If I'm not fitting into the 2X, that's not really a 2X because I don't have a problem with 2X on anything. And I wish that they offered even larger sizes because if they're buying from places like Real Lingerie, let me see what this black one was because I didn't look for a, yeah, the black one doesn't have a, oh, it's interesting. I wonder why some of them have a brand and some don't. But if they're buying from some place that says Real Lingerie for everybody, you would think that a place like that would have bigger sizes because it sounds like there's lingerie companies out there that do plus lingerie and they go all the way up to a 6X. So it is kind of funny to me that, I don't know if they just can't get deals with places like that and that's why they're limited right now. But I do wish that they would go a little larger because I'll be getting the 3X, which I assume is going to fit me, but that's the highest they offer. So if you're bigger than me, you're shit out of luck. And I know a lot of women that are bigger than me. So, all right, so that's Splendies. So I recommend giving them a try. I was able to do my first box for $10. I'm going to put the Splendies referral code in the show notes for this in case you guys want to try it because I get if you use my referral code I think I get a free month or something like this, but normally they have different tiers because of how you can subscribe. So if you do month by month, which is what I would be doing, it's $16 a month, $16.99 a month. If you pay for 6 months in advance, it's $98, $16.33 a month. Frankly, that's not enough, in my opinion, to warrant paying for 6 months in advance. But your mileage may vary. I've seen, usually when there's a 6 months in advance, you get a substantial amount off in the end. It's $5 off a month or something. But you're not even getting $1 off a month there. I'm not sure what the motivation really is. So yeah, Splendies. I think you should try them if you can fit. If they offer sizes for you, I am impressed with the quality. I really am. But if you are outside of their size range, I really encourage you to get in touch with them and let them know because, come on, guys. Come on. Before I start on the Chub Rub thing really quickly, part of what when I was saying that I didn't have any good news to report from last week, I have still been working on the Thigh High Ravenclaw cosplay problem. And I ordered something from Amazon, or was it Amazon? No, it was Yandy, which is a like really cheap, chintzy lingerie website, but they offer a lot of stuff in plus sizes. And they had this pair of stockings that from like the mid thigh up looked like fishnets, and the rest of the way down looked like thigh highs. And they came in a 3X. And I should have known that they wouldn't fit because they were from Leg Avenue. But I had seen a different Leg Avenue in a 3X being reviewed really well by people who gave their height and weight, and they would have been around my size. So I ordered it. It came. It fit up until the point where it transitioned from the thigh high to the fishnet. And that the top of that thigh high, even though it isn't a real thigh high, was like that big around. I can't believe, like, if they hadn't made the whatever kind of elastic and stretch and spandex that was in the rest of the tight suddenly like sink in like that in that spot, they would have fit fine because the fishnet part stretched like crazy. But for some reason, that particular spot, it just wouldn't go up enough. And it just like, it was a dent in my thigh, like an inch deep. It was crazy. So I'm trying another thing, and I'll keep you all posted. I'm waiting for that to arrive. It should be coming in the mail today. We'll see. Okay, Chub Rub. So we have all kinds of options here. I'm going to tell you that there are two things that I have tried that I don't have the product with me. I thought I had some in my purse, and I think I gave it to somebody to use, and I didn't get it back. The first thing that a lot of people suggest is deodorant. Deodorant does work, but it goes away. And this is something that I really think when people tell you what worked for them when they have Chub Rub, you need to consider their body type. A lot of people, even thin people, have Chub Rub. But something that works for someone who's thin and doesn't have a lot of rub or doesn't have a lot of surface area rubbing isn't necessarily going to work for you the same way. And I have seen people swear by deodorant, and I'm not sure if it's the brand or what, but deodorant for me does not last. It works for a little while. If I'm not going to be walking around a ton, it's fine. But I definitely, like, this is the kind of thing where you wind up having to stop and pull over and pull your shorts or your skirt up and reapply it. And you need to be aware that you're going to have to find a place to do that. So if that's what you're going to rely on, be prepared to reapply, and the weirdness and awkwardness of that if you aren't able to find a bathroom. This was recommended to me by Rashawn. Silky underwear dusting powder from Lush. And two things about this. One, it does have an expiration date on it. And I'm like trying to see exactly where it is here. Because I know when I got it, it might have been on the box. But, oh yeah, here it is. Used by the 21st of January, 2018? 19. Okay. So I'm okay. Yeah, so this isn't something that you can just hold on to forever because it's all natural. So I have had pretty good luck with this, but not... It's dependent on, I think, what the weather is like. If it's going to be really hot and really sticky, I'm going to expect to have to reapply this also. When I used it, the weather was fairly nice, and it lasted pretty well, and I didn't have to reapply. But again, this is something that I haven't test driven it in all weather, and powder is a tricky thing, and I could see this, if you were sweating a lot, turning into a paste and not necessarily being super helpful. But the advantage that this stuff has over something like a deodorant is that I powder under my tits with it. I powder around my belly. I am able to use it as kind of a antiperspirant that isn't gooey like a deodorant is. Because I know people apply deodorant under their boobs too, and I've done that also. But the powder really dries you a little bit better in the moment. So, and it's really nice, especially to put this on before you're about to slide on shapewear. Because I don't know how much experience you guys have wearing shapewear, but it can be such a battle getting that stuff on. And you wind up sweating because you're yanking and pulling and jumping and squeezing and squatting. And when you sweat, it's even harder to get it on. So if you are standing like in front of a fan, powder yourself up really well with this stuff, the shapewear will slide on like silk, which I guess is why it's called silky underwear. So this is something I really recommend just for getting ready in general, especially if you're going to be, having a night out and you're going to be wearing some fancy undies. So yeah, silky underwear dusting powder. I'll include a link for this also. Now, when I was talking about shapewear, it brings me to my next thing, because shapewear can be used to fight chub rub. And I'm trying to see exactly what brand this one is, because this is the one that I have been using and I really like. Imbrielle XXL. This is the size that I've been wearing. Now, these things are bulletproof. And this is someplace that people are going to be disagreeing with me, and that's completely valid. But there are, shorts that you can use to fight chub rub. And I got this pair from Amazon. Let's see, what's this brand? I don't know, but I'll link you in the bottom. I got the 2022 pair. And while I like these shorts, like in general for just fighting a little bit of chub rub, you can see the inseam is not that long. They do not go down far enough, in my opinion, to do that much good. So that's something that you have to consider too. How short is what you're wearing, and will shorts show if your chub rub goes for several inches like mine does? Mine is like almost a full hand length of thigh rub. So something like this, it doesn't really do it if I'm going to be walking around a lot. It helps with the worst of it. And it's something I can wear under things that are really short. But, it will catch in that one spot and start to rise up in the middle. And then you start to have that bunching in your crotch, which is the worst. That's something that, while a lot of people suggest shorts like this, they're a real hit and miss for me. I've seen several people recommend jockey shorts, skimmies, and I'll post a link for those, but I haven't necessarily tried them, and I don't want to give them a recommendation. I'm just letting you guys know that other people have mentioned them and really liked them. I have seen mixed reviews for them in the actual listings on Amazon, so, take that for what you will. But they do come in different length inseams, which is nice. So you can get something that's a lot longer. So these kinds of the thing that I like about these versus shorts like that is, first of all, you can see how much longer this inseam is. And because of how stretchy this is, the inseam is actually a little bit adjustable. So you can have it sit like exactly this length, or you can have it stretch and fall down a little bit longer if you need more length, and it will stay, because there are these, I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, I think you can just about see that there's kind of like this rubbery series of little lines and bands, and then this one thicker one on the edge. And it keeps these in place really, really well. And I am a big fan of feeling slightly compressed under my clothes. I love shapewear. I know shapewear in the body positive community can get really contentious, but for me, it's not even about how I look. It's about the feeling of my body not jiggling a lot and feeling like there's a ton of motion and weird shifting and stuff like that. I like feeling held in and compressed. So something like this, even without the added inseam and advantage of this, I like this feeling better than something that's really loose like these shorts, which are just jersey basically and don't offer any compression whatsoever. Those feel frumpy to me because of how loose and soft they are. They're somewhat comfortable, but I feel more comfortable in my skin in these. So then we have another option that's sort of like a short without the short part. Bandelettes. Bandelettes are essentially like a garter that you would wear on your thighs at the spot where you have rub. And they come in just a flat, like, fabric like this, where it's just smooth. I got them in lace because I think they're pretty and they look more like a garter to me. I wish I hadn't. Here's why. And this is something I had a problem with on a pair of shorts recently that I got for Chub Rub, and I couldn't find those shorts. I wore them one time and now I don't know where they are, and that should tell you something. You would think that this amount of fabric between your thighs, and it's basically 2 layers of that fabric because you've got one on each thigh, would be enough to keep the rub from bothering you. But these are tight enough that your flesh is really pressed against there, and there are tons of tiny little holes because it's lace. And you can still feel the rub. It's just happening on a tiny scale of the little holes that are dotted through it. So it's still uncomfortable to me. I still felt it. It was weird. These do stay in place very well because of these rubber, bands on the inside, but they are also not that long. I got them, as wide as they come. I think they only come in the one size. And my rub goes for a couple inches further in each direction. So these didn't quite do the job. And I was really disappointed because I thought that they would be exactly what I needed, that they would look cute and sexy because they're like a garter. And instead, they didn't quite cover the whole area that I needed covered. And the areas that they did cover felt really strange because there was still some rub that you could feel. And that was what happened with those shorts. The shorts that I had, I ordered them off of Etsy. And they were kind of like this in the middle, but then they had a longer band that came down like this from the bottom of the shorts. So they were like this, but with a much longer inseam and ending in lace. So they still looked cute and not like granny panties. However, they had the same problem. And the lace was even like a wider pattern than this one is. Because you can see that this one's somewhat tight. Like, I'll pull it tight and you can see this isn't too bad. But the lace on the other shorts was even set a little bit wider than that, the spaces between. And it was still, you could feel it. And it's almost, I don't want to say it's worse than regular Chub Rub because it does offer some relief, but there's something strange and gritty about that feeling, and it bothered me. And I wound up taking them off like partway through the day because I just couldn't stand it. So that's bandelettes would work if you don't have as much surface area that you're trying to protect as I do. And they would work if you are either prepared for the weird feeling of the lace, or if you are getting the straight, regular flat pair, which if you get those, I'm interested to hear. I could see if you got the flat pair and you use those in conjunction with something like a deodorant or powder, that could work. But there's only 2 other things that I wanted to mention that I don't actually have. One of them is a Monistat anti-chafing gel, which you would find in like the women's care area with douches and all of that stuff. Anything by Monistat is going to be in that area. It's a tube and it feels very much like a primer, which I actually have heard that you can use that stuff as a cheap face primer and it works exactly the same way. So if you think about it, you might be able to use a facial primer as a anti-Chub Rub gel. And that stuff works really, really well. And it's more expensive than something like a deodorant, but I found that it lasted longer. However, the tube is not very big. It's about half the size of it. It's like the size of like a Neosporin tube. So it runs out pretty fast, but it is nice because of it being small. You can carry it in your purse and just have it with you, and it doesn't, it doesn't feel like you're carrying a whole fucking stick of deodorant. And the other thing that people have mentioned is Body Glide, which comes in a stick form like a deodorant, but it isn't actually. It's meant specifically for athletics, and it's supposed to, like, with deodorant, it's meant to be a deodorizing thing, and you're using it for chafing. With Body Glide, it's meant for your body. Like, its whole function is to prevent chafing. And I have used Body Glide to mixed results. I kind of found deodorant was better, in my opinion, than Body Glide was. And I see people recommending Body Glide like crazy everywhere, and I can't figure it out because it just didn't work that well for me. But I'm mentioning it here because it obviously worked for some people. So I don't want to write it off completely, because I encourage you to try as many things as you want. I have tried so many things, and it's taken me forever to find things that worked, and forever to like learn what to like be wary of and look for and understand ahead of time may not work for me when I'm getting my hopes up a little bit. So Body Glide is the kind of thing that I could see, again, if you don't have a ton of rub, but you still face the same like reapplication thing. Anything, I think the way to go is, if you're going to be wearing something really short and you have a lot of rub, you're going to have to use a product instead of a piece of clothing. If you are wearing something that's a little bit longer, shorts are fine and probably will be more convenient and obviously longer lasting in the end. But I think that I would stick with these shorts specifically because they hold me in and they have a longer, and the silk powder, because in general this just makes your skin feel pretty nice all day, even without dealing with the chub rub aspect. So it's something that I would want to wear anyway, and the only downside for this is that application can be kind of messy because it's a powder. I got a little bowl and a puff, and I poured, because you can see this is half empty, I poured a bunch of this powder into the bowl and I used the puff to apply it. If I was bringing this with me somewhere, applying it in the bathroom or something would be a little bit awkward, especially if you're wearing black and you're about to have it all over your clothes. So everything has its pluses and minuses, and I haven't found anything that works universally well in every situation. I wish I could report back that I had. And if you guys have suggestions on things that you've tried that have worked for you, link them. Like, definitely comment and let me know, because I am open to suggestion, and like you see, I have purchased many different things to try and help with this issue because I love to wear dresses. I love dresses and skirts. So, yeah, I'm wide open and listening. So yeah, I think that's it, everybody. I'm sorry it took me so long to do another video, and I'm hoping that it won't be so long till the next one, and I'm hoping that the next one that I have, I'll have better news about the cosplay issue. But for right now, hopefully you can take these recommendations for the summertime and make some use of them, and report back and let me know how it worked for you. And I think that's it. So thanks everyone so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye!